Hey everyone, and welcome. You know that feeling when you're in the middle of a sentence and you just hit a wall? Should I say bring or take? Or maybe lend or borrow? These common words can be way more confusing than they look. But what if I told you there's a simple secret to getting them right every single time? Well, today, we are going to unlock it.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a classic. Imagine you're planning a party at your house. You call up your friend. Do you say, "I hope you can come," or do you say, "I hope you can go"? It seems like such a small choice, but believe me, it completely changes the meaning. Let's figure out why.
And here's the best part. You do not need to memorize a bunch of boring grammar rules. The real secret is just understanding a few simple but really powerful master rules that are behind all of these word pairs. And in this explainer, we're going to walk through them one by one.
So our first master rule is my absolute favorite. It's so simple and it solves so many problems. I like to call it the here versus there rule. And it's all about one key thing, your location, as the person speaking. This slide really breaks it down perfectly. Come is all about movement towards the speaker, moving here. And go is the exact opposite. It's movement away from the speaker, moving there. See? It's just a simple shift in your point of view. Okay, so let's go back to our party example. If you are physically at your house when you're on the phone, you say, "Please come to my house," because you're asking your friend to move to where you are. You're asking them to move here. Simple, right? And this is where a good master rule really shines. This exact same here versus there idea applies perfectly to another tricky pair, bring and take. Let me show you how. You see, it's the exact same pattern. Bring is for moving an object here towards the speaker. Take is for moving an object there away from the speaker. It's literally just come and go, but we're talking about objects instead of people. So, if you were leaving my office, I'd say this. I'd use take because you are moving that umbrella away from where I am. You're taking it there. Once you really get this core idea, I promise you'll nail it every time.
All right, let's get into our second master rule. This one isn't about your location, it's about the direction of an exchange. We'll call it the giving versus taking rule, and it is going to clear up that lend and borrow confusion once and for all.
I actually like to think of this one as the direction of the arrow rule. Whenever you use these words, just picture an arrow. Is the thing moving away from you, like you're giving it, or is it coming towards you, for you to use?
So, here's the key takeaway. Lend is an act of giving, so that imaginary arrow is pointing away from you. Borrow is an act of taking, so the arrow points towards you. Oh, and look at those little prepositions on the slide. We lend to someone, and we borrow from someone. Those are huge clues.
And here's a perfect real-world example. When you ask this question, you want to take the pen for a little bit. The arrow of the action is pointing towards you, which means you have to use borrow.
All right, for our last section, we're going to switch gears a little. We're moving from movement and direction to some pretty straightforward grammar rules. These cover verbs we use for talking and seeing, words we use constantly.
Let's start with tell. This verb has a really clear three-step structure. The most important part here is step 2. Right after the word tell, you must immediately name a person. You can't just tell a story, you have to tell me a story, or tell Sarah a story.
Now, say works a little differently. You can just say something, like she said hello. Simple. But if you want to include the person who heard it, you absolutely have to add the word to. You can't say me hello, but you can say hello to me. That tiny word to makes all the difference.
Now, this table does such a good job of showing the difference with our vision words. It really all comes down to intention and movement. So see is passive, right? It's just what happens when your eyes are open. You don't try to do it. Then you have look at. This is an active choice. You are deciding to direct your eyes at something specific. And finally, watch is also active, but it's for looking at something that's moving over a period of time, like a movie or a soccer game.
Okay, you've learned the master rules, you've seen the examples, now it is time to put that new knowledge to the test. Let's do a quick challenge. You ready?
First question. Okay, think back to our here versus there rule. The action is happening towards the speaker's location, which is my house. So is the guitar moving here or there? The correct word is bring. Of course, you're moving the guitar here to my location. Fantastic, 1 for 1. All right, next up. Remember that sentence structure rule? We have the verb, and then right after it, we have a person, us. So which word fits that pattern? Tell. That's it. It has to be tell because the structure is tell
plus a person. You're 2 for 2. Excellent.
That was awesome. In just a few minutes, you've really learned the core logic behind some of the trickiest words in English. Let's do one final quick review just to make sure these master rules really stick with you.
And here it is, your master cheat sheet. Instead of trying to memorize 8 different words, you just need to remember 4 simple ideas. The here versus there rule for movement, the direction rule for when things are exchanged, the sentence structure rule for speaking, and the intention rule for seeing. This is your key to getting these right every single time.
So let's end with this question for you, and notice how it uses take and go, because you're moving something away from your home when you leave. Honestly, the best way to master these words is to just start using them yourself. So what's your answer? Think about it, and you're already on your way. Thanks so much for joining this explainer.